Greetings, Studio Scrappers. This is Studio Scrapping with Amy. I'm your host, Amy Yulin, independent consultant with Close to My Heart. Do you ever wish that you could distress the edges of your photos in Studio J? Well, thanks to the brilliant minds at the Close to My Heart art department, we actually can do this. And all you need is a text box. So draw a text box right on top of your photo. And I tend to give myself a little bit of space so that I can nudge that text box around with my arrow keys. And if it's not fitting perfectly, which this one is not, I just drag it out a little bit more. I'm going to edit my text and hit my space bar. So that will go away, and it looks like perhaps I need to move it up slightly. No, down slightly. Again, if you zoom way in, it's a little bit easier to see this. Okay. I guess it doesn't have to be perfect, but I can't help myself. All right, so there is my text box. It defaults to vellum. Now you know that you could come up to your paper, you could drop a piece of pattern paper in there, or a piece of cardstock, whatever you want, into your text box. But sometimes we don't want anything in that text box. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to come to my paper, and instead of a color, instead of vellum, I'm going to choose none. Now, I have a blank text box sitting on top of my photo. I come over to my distressing menu, and I'm going to choose direct. Now, watch what happens when I try to put distressing on top of an actual photo. The red X lets me know that is not acceptable, but I come and drop it on top of my blank text box, and my green plus sign says, yes, you may do that. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that distressing, and now the distressing is going onto the blank text box. I'm going to increase my distressing to 100%. You can start to see it a little bit here. Let me zoom way in for you. So you can see a little bit of it here. If I change my color to colonial white, there you can definitely see it much more. I can drop, let's do colonial white, let's drop sponging on top of this. And when that loads in, again, I need to increase to 100%. And there you can see some of the white, colonial white sponging. If I can change it to black, if that makes it a little bit better. Again, it's a really subtle look, unless you do something crazy like doing the crosshatch distressing. Then it's not so subtle at all. And that's great. I mean, you definitely might be able to use that for something. So again, let me increase to 100. You can start to see it. Let me change the color to, oh, it's not letting me change my color. Oh, there we go. To cocoa. Let me try black. There you go. Now it's definitely, you can see the distressing. Clearly, I'm not going to leave it like that, but just to illustrate what that actually looks like on your photo. Now, here is another way that we used the distressing over not only photos, but also over paper to create our own background paper. And I learned this tip at the Close to My Heart Studio J boot camp. And so what we did was we placed the stickies down on the cardstock. Then we drew a text box on top of that, and we inserted our distressing. And so again, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here and show you what happens when I increase. Right now my distressing's at 60%. Watch what happens when I take it up to 100. So it becomes very distressed. It's the sanding or stubble, I don't remember. Okay, or I can take it all the way down to 0, all the way back up to 100, but I'm going to leave it at 60. So you can see that there are a couple of ways that you can use your text boxes and distressing to either create your own background paper or to create a nice distressed edge on your photos. So until next time, happy scrapping!